Welcome to Naptime Nuggets number 49. What? 49? Yes, 49. Only because you guys keep joining me. So, what are we talking about today? It's part two of a three-part series on sleep. And this is one of my favorite, taking the battles out of bedtime. This is nap time, bedtime, really when you're trying to get a child to sleep and the child will not. And as I do every time, I'm thinking through the lens of in group settings, but also if you're a parent at home trying to get your child to go to sleep. So you'll hear some strategies that apply to both today. So I remember both of my kids, right around 2, 3 years old, they started really fighting bedtime. But one of them didn't even sleep well when she was smaller. So this can happen at any age. But as they get older into the twos and threes, they start to know that the world is still going on even when they're stuck in their room. So they want to be up. You get into group settings, they see other kids not having to take naps, or they've had a lot of activity and a lot of fun, and they want to just keep going, right? So I remember going to have my daughter go to sleep. She did fine for, through the ones. And then all of a sudden it was like, by the time she turned 3, can I have a glass of water? I'm thirsty. You already had a glass of water. I'm hungry. I want a hug. She just kept showing back up. I was going crazy. I was like so tired at the end of the day. Just please go to bed. But she would fight it and she didn't want to go to sleep. So I remember being super stressed out by that. And now work with a lot of early childhood educators, childcare providers in their home or in centers, teachers, etc. And they're saying, these kids, first of all, sometimes they come to me tired. And so they didn't get sleep last night. So help. Parents need extra tips for helping at night. But also, I've heard, boy, if you have 6 kids or 8 kids or 10 kids or even more in a group setting, how do you get them all to go to sleep for their nap time? That nap time that helps everybody recover, including the person caring for those young kids. So that's what we're going to look at today. How can you set up the stage so that, you know how a play, they set the whole stage, they get it all ready for sleep? Well, there are things that you can do to set the stage so that the kids you're caring for, whether it's your own or other people's, actually have an easier time falling asleep. So I love this topic. Raylene Osberg coming from Thriving Together. Of course, I'm working every week to bring tips, strategies, and tools to you to lower your stress and increase your joy while you're caring for young children. What adults do makes a difference. So I am here dedicating my life to supporting those doing the most difficult job, educating and caring for our next generation. So what are we going to do today? I'm going to give you top tools for setting the stage, some things to watch for, so that you don't have those culprits jump in that we talked about last week, and then give you a couple great tools to help kids notch down to sleep. Are you ready? Let's go. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. Feel free to type in the chat box for me, it's on the right. I'm guessing it is for you too at any time. I'll check in every now and then to see if there's questions or ideas. All right, let's go. This is packed full of tips and tools for you today. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button or the like button if you hear something that you like, and then you will never miss a nugget. All right, let's roll. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready for this? What are the odds that these kids, do you see them? What are the odds that these kids are going to sleep? On a scale of 0 to 10, maybe 0. They're not going to sleep. They're too revved up. So one thing I learned when I was working with Mary Judy Krasinka, when she was working on writing the book Sleepless in America, is this idea. I'm going to show you. I need the visuals today because it makes a big difference if you can see what I'm saying. Okay, so here is a sleep cycle. This is what it looks like when a child's sleeping. Sometimes they get into a deeper sleep. Hint, this is us too, right? Sometimes we're in a deeper sleep, and then sometimes we wake up, and then we get back in a deeper sleep, and then we wake up. So there's some things you're going to want to know about this. First of all, here's the part where you're going to sleep. this doesn't happen. It's kind of like there's these stages of deeper sleep. There's also stages of awake. So the kids I showed you in that picture, they're up here. They're super revved up. They're ready to be awake. They're not ready to sleep. So one thing I didn't know that I really appreciated learning was one of the most important times for sleep is this part. So they're up here, they're excited, they're revved up. They need to calm themselves down. So by the time they lay down on their cot or get in their bed, they're actually tired. They're actually sleepy. That's going to make it easier for them to fall asleep. So what Mary Shedeker-Sinka calls that is notching down to sleep. Notching down. So I love that idea. It's like, here you are, you're revved up. What are the things that are going to help you calm? Well, the cool thing about this is there's a trick to figuring out what that is because it's different for all kids. Okay, so the critical time before sleep is anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes before. So imagine you're in childcare or you're at home, you're trying to get the meal ready, everybody's busy, maybe you've just been outside playing, and all of a sudden it's time for bed. What are the odds you're just going to fall right to sleep? So you need that time in order to calm down. Here's the trick. It's different for every child. So look at these pictures. This child right here is being touched. Is it working for her? Is it calming her? It looks like it is to me. But look at this child. This child is being touched also. But is it calming for this child? And now look at this child. Is this child being calmed to sleep? No, this child is crying, revved up. Now look at this little baby. This little baby looks like touching is really working for her. So the trick is going to be trying different things to figure out what the child needs to go to sleep. So for some, they might need a little rub on the back or a song, something calming. For another child, they might need to be off kind of in a corner by themselves with no noise at all. Even a white noise machine might help that child. So let's say you have a temperament that's just higher sensitivity. So you hear sounds more, lights are brighter for you, sounds are louder. You're going to need more quiet. So this is when something like a noise machine helps because it blocks off some of that stimulation. So figuring out what the child needs is going to be part of the picture, and it's not the same for each child. So I'll link to some resources on that on my blog when I put this up on the blog. So when it comes down to it, then what we're going to do is really read the cues. So number one, notch down to sleep. Number two, read the cues. What is it the child needs? So within that, there's a strategy, which is being routine. I talk about this in my blog on decreasing nighttime stress, how a routine can really work. Well, what happens is look at the different pictures. This is a free thing on my blog. So there's quiet play, healthy snack, brush your teeth, bath time, pajama time, read a book, sing a lullaby, cuddle, and then go to sleep. This is a lot of steps. You may not have all these steps. What I recommend doing is cutting out the pieces that apply for you. So if you're in childcare, for example, and you're going to have book time, and then you're going to have where you're singing and maybe you cuddle or you have some kind of a notch down calming time. I've seen places who really turn down the lights to set that environment that it's time to sleep. So the trick with this is you pick out which ones you're going to do in the routine. So let's say you pick 4 of them and you start doing the routine, and now reading books was part of your routine. So you start reading the book to the child or children and you notice they start revving up. Each child is individual. So maybe books get some of your kids really excited. Then you're not going to want to do that one. So take that one back out of the routine because remember, you need that 30 to 45 minutes to notch down to calm. So you want to try your routine, set it up. I would say with this routine to pick 4 or so things that every time you go to bed, you do these. You can even do it with older infants and toddlers. You show them the picture, what's coming next, set up the routine, and then watch. Is it calming for them or is it not? So the second thing, make sure to connect with the child. So find a way before they're expected to go to their nap and separate from you. Find a time to connect. Is it at mealtime or snack time? Whatever's happening before. Is it outside playtime? What is it you're doing that you can really give a lot of hugs and attention and positive praise so that when it's time to separate from you, they're it's easier because they've had a time to connect with you. So I remember I was really, really busy working all the time, rushing, 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 pick up my daughter from childcare. I go to the grocery store. We're eating a snack in the car. We stop by Menards. We get home and I'm like, okay, you need to go to bed. It's 8:10. You were supposed to go to bed at 8. Hurry up and go to bed. That's the least conducive thing to sleep. First of all, I'm stressed. I'm saying, hurry up. We haven't had any calm down time. Fail, mommy, fail. It's my job. I'm the adult. So I have to show, like, I'm going to be calm now. It's time to be quiet. Even if you have a child who's fighting nap time, which we'll bring up next week, you can show them, like, oh, shh, take deep breaths. Talk quietly and calmly. Turn the lights down. If you were singing songs, start to get really quiet as you're singing the song. And a lot of places have started to incorporate deep breathing. Kids don't know how to calm. Even my husband sometimes can't calm and go to sleep. So young children need to learn to calm, and each one is different. It's a hard job because you have to figure out what the children need, set up the environment, watch for cues if it's working, help everybody rev down to sleep, and then really model and stay calm. And then it works better. The last tip I'm going to give you today is you do all that. The children are laying down. Maybe it's for 30 seconds. What I want you to do, catch them being good. Uh-huh. What I want you to do is even after 30 seconds, after you've done your calm down routine, you take your deep breaths, you're really relaxed, the lights are turned down. You go, oh, look, you're sleeping. Yeah, I knew you could do it, especially to the child that's been having trouble. My daughter, I'm not kidding you, would not go to bed at night, and that is exactly what I did. I walked out of the room. I waited 30 seconds. I walked back in and I said, oh, you're still in your bed. Nice work. I knew you could do it. I walked back out. 2 minutes later, I came in and I said, you're still in your bed. Yes, you're doing so good. I'm proud of you. Walked back out. The next time I came in, she goes, she thought it was the funniest game. But you know what? She stayed in her bed. She stayed in her bed. So set up the environment, model clearly, connect with the child, get a routine that helps the child calm down to sleep at least 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes or more. You figure it out for your family and the kiddos in your care. What works best? And then catch them being good. You can turn around nap time. Literally turn around nap time and bedtime by these steps. So I hope you find it useful. If you have any other ideas to add, go ahead and type them in. Hi, Julie. I'm glad you're here. And anytime you guys type in, then it shows me your name. So I'm like, oh, wow, my friends are here. But you have to type in the chat. And if you're watching it later, you can also type in the chat. So today we talked about really going down, getting ready for that routine, helping them notch down to calm so that they can get really good sleep, setting up the environment. You know what part 3 is next week? Challenge, facing the challenge. So you've done all these steps. Guess what? Some kids are still going to fight you. Oh, it can be very, very frustrating. So next week, we are diving into what do you do when they still won't listen? So you've figured out the culprits behind sleep. You've logged and seen what are the patterns for the kids. When do they need to rest and make sure to get them that rest and avoid the things that get in the way. That was part 1 last week up on the blog. And this time was how do you help them notch down to calm so that they can sleep? What do you do to set up the environment to help? Next week, facing the battle. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and share your ideas and your tips. I see you guys are doing that. Awesome. Hi, Jackie. Oh, Jackie, do you have any links to those? I am not familiar with nature soundscapes, but I love that idea because nature can be very calming and kids aren't getting out in nature enough. So if you show videos about nature or play nature music, it actually can stimulate their body like they're getting out in nature. So it can be very calming. I love that idea. You have music on it. Oh, what kinds of music do you think are really calming? Google Play and search nature music. Okay. Wonderful. Well, if you have any links or any songs you end up loving that you try this week and you go, you know what? This one is really, really good. Go ahead and put it in the comments later because a lot of people watch them after the fact. So then we can collect our ideas together and look for this to be up on the blog. I'll share when it's up on Facebook. And then hopefully we can all gather next Monday. I'm going to be here. I hope you're here. Thanks for joining me today. It means all the world. I know we're transitioning over here, but I know it's going to work really, really well. And I'm also working on actually getting a screen that I can show PowerPoints too. So we're going to keep growing this and keep having fun. So keep joining me every week, you guys. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day. Over and out.